Hey everyone, welcome to episode number 65 of New Slang. I'm Thomas Mooney, and on this episode I am joined by singer-songwriter Jamie Lin Wilson. She was in town last week opening up for American Aquarium at Blue Light. It was a Saturday show. It was pretty amazing. You should probably know this by now, but if you've been living under a rock all year, Jamie released a new album called Jumping Over Rocks. Back at, I guess, earlier this fall. It's her second solo full-length album. I've been a champion of the album since I first started hearing songs from it here and there. You may remember back when I was at Wide Open Country, we premiered Oklahoma Stars over on there and had a little short interview. Now, it feels kind of like it begins earlier and earlier every year. Magazines and websites and just people in general start releasing their top albums of the year lists. I've been working on mine as well. I'm not entirely finished with the final rankings or anything like that, but Jumping Over Rocks is somewhere in that top 5 range for me. It's just an incredible album, top to bottom, but if I could pinpoint what makes the album for me, it's really like 3 specific songs. It's Oklahoma Stars, If I Told You, and essentially what is the title track, Death and Life, which I think is maybe the best song of the year. And on Death and Life, I'm not really sure what like even the best line is, because it's just a really great song, like where lines pop out and you just I don't know, there's just something about it. The one that we talk about mostly in this interview is a father always tries to treat a boy just like a man. But I also think there's this line called that is they're soaking up the sun and wondering how it feels to die. That is really a really close second, if you will. That one right there kind of works more within the context of the song. You can't just necessarily just say that line and it stand alone, like the way a father always tries to treat a boy just like a man does. That one just right there, you can, I don't know, it just stands up by itself, but obviously it works within the song as well. There's also this really cool thing that she does too in the song, where she flips, there's these lines, I guess, in the chorus where she kind of flips the perspective of the old ones and the young ones, and how they think about life. Also, I did get a new condenser microphone that we used here. It's a little hot, so it kind of picks up the entire room more than previous equipment that I've been using. That means that me and Jamie right here are a lot more clear and bright, but also it means that some of the background noise is picked up. I'm not really sure how well you can hear other conversations, but in the room when we were doing it, basically, you can just hear every trash can and dumping of ice and whatnot. We did it inside a Blue Light right before doors open, so of course it's just a slightly more busy time than when we typically do interviews. But I mean, there was also a bunch of snow on the ground on Saturday, so we all kind of just got started doing the interviews and sound checks and all that kind of stuff a little bit later than usual. It's not really that big of a deal, so yeah, but I don't know, I'm just telling you what kind of was happening. So yeah, I'll be releasing a top albums and just, other top things that I liked this year. That'll probably be coming next week. We should probably have a conversation over on your favorite social media. Mine is on Twitter. I feel, I don't know, it's just the most user-friendly for having like a running dialogue. So follow me at _newslang on there. You can go find me on Facebook at newslang as well. Give us a like. Obviously, subscribe to the podcast. You can email me as well at newslang.editors@gmail.com. Questions, comments, concerns, etc. So I say that every week, but it's very important. Give the podcast a 5-star rating, write a review, share it with your friends, family, coworkers, whatnot. So yeah, you know what time it is here. It's time to go on to the interview part. Here is Jamie Lin Wilson.
You say hi to the world. This is Griffin's first podcast. Say, oh. No? Okay. He's shy today.
Yeah, okay, so let's start off with him. First off, I mean, like, that's a really great... everyone has... A lot of people have kids, but, like, you know, a lot of people don't bring kids on the road. How... It's not... I feel it's not that difficult for you to... you know what I mean?
Well, this is my 4th round at Baby on the Road, so there's different challenges this time. As to, like, my first kid, I was in the Trishas, my first and second, so I had immediate help, you know, because there were 4 of us. So if I needed to run inside a store or, you know, it was fine. Get it out, bub. There you go.
There we go.
He gets real mad at coughs. He coughs and then goes, ah, every time. So, and now I have Jen. Sometimes we don't ride together. Like today we rode separate because I have to go straight home tomorrow and she has to go to Austin. So, you know, the logistics are different. You know, I don't know. It's getting easier. This one hated traveling a lot.
Oh, really?
Right at the beginning. And today was actually pretty, it's kind of a breeze today, bub. Good job. But, yeah, you have to add an hour. That's my general rule is add an hour to the drive for every 3 hours of drive. So if it's a 6-hour drive, it will take 8.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Right.
So just everything. Just kind of have to work in time for Baby and know when he's going to have to eat and hopefully take naps. Don't bet on those. You know.
Right.
What kind of gear do you need? What kind of... He doesn't need toys and stuff yet, so it's fine. But
I guess like you approach it as like if you could hire like the biggest diva in a band is like having a baby.
Oh,
you know
totally.
what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is on his whim. Like, except for I try to do it to where it's really not. Like, okay, I know you're going to cry right now, but I also know that your diaper is dry and you've just eaten and your seat is very comfortable.
Right.
So you're just mad and you're just going to have to deal with it until you decide to not be mad anymore.
Yeah.
And we turn up the radio and go, you know. And it seemed, you know, it works. Like now he'll fuss for a few minutes and then he's like, oh yeah, I have to sit back here for a while. I guess I'll go to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But
something the other day you mentioned, whenever everyone was starting to share the Spotify, you know, like these are my top 5 artists I listen to this. You had like a lot of children's music. And you mentioned that. So I've been thinking about that. It's like
it totally screwed up my cool card.
Your cool
my
card.
cool kid card.
Do you get it's easy to me it's easy to get those kids songs stuck in your head.
Oh. For sure.
Is that something like you what do you do with that? When you obviously you're a musician.
Just go with it, you know. I don't really listen to it. It was funny. Everybody was sharing all their stuff, and it was like, I listened to 68,000 minutes of music this year, and mine was like 4.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, you know, it was not. I don't really listen to a whole lot of music, I guess, which is weird because I'm a songwriter, but I listen to a lot of nothing in the car, and lately I've been listening to Sirius XM because I got it, and also because I want to hear them play my song when it comes on, so I listen to it all day. But I don't, you know, I'm not really a music listener in the car in general.
Yeah.
But
it's funny about the everyone sharing the Spotify stuff because, you know, it's
because Spotify made it available.
It's humble bragging.
Yeah, like how cool my playlist is.
Yeah. Or it's it's like.
And then mine shows up and it's like, we are the dinosaurs marching.
There's like 4 cool artists and then they're like, sorry, not sorry on the 5th. You know what I mean?
Right,
like,
yeah. You're like, okay, cool, look, Sam Hunt's on my list, but also Lori McKenna.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever.
Yeah. I saw like on mine, I guess what I noticed on mine more than anything else, it was so much more work related than I realized it was going to be. Because I started when I was at Wide Open, we were doing so much 90s country stuff.
Right.
So mine, I didn't have the indie credit like a lot of other people.
Yeah.
Like, I listen to 110% more than any artist than anyone else.
Mine was 104.
And mine...
everybody else I saw was 111, where I started thinking they were making it up. Like Spotify just throws in a random...
Mine was, my high thing was contemporary country is what they classified, because it was all 80s and 90s guys. And it's like, well, all that stuff is... They're all signed to major labels at that point, so...
That's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that those social stuff, it's so smart that they make that available, because then all of a sudden... Nobody would care if they didn't get an email about it and say, you know, hey, look how cool you are. Look at your music.
But, like, you know, it's also... We're going to pick that up over there, too. All the ice going in. It's also great for the bands, though, because, like, obviously... I think there's more bands doing it now where they're checking in on their artist Spotify stats.
Well, that's also, like... Hey, you can't fuss while we're doing a podcast. That's the rule. Where's Jen? Like, I looked at my top 20 songs or whatever, and I'm in there. Because I listened to my own song when it came out. You know?
Yeah. But, you know, you see the... I know a lot of people that when they look at, like, where their markets are building...
Right.
You know, that's such a great...
Well, you know what's interesting is that I look at my markets, like, where my most streamed market is Dallas. I played Dallas the other day and got, like, 30 people. Like, so what's up, Dallas?
I wonder...
Like, you listen to my songs and you don't come to my shows. Come on, Dallas.
I wonder if, like, on those bigger places, though, it's like... we have to drive further than I would want to.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Lubbock's obviously not that big, so it's...
You don't have
any
many
show,
choices.
you're like, oh, okay, I'll go to see that.
I'll go to Blue Light. Sure, I'll go to Cactus. Sure.
But, like, with TFW, I feel like you're making plans versus just going.
Right.
I'm just making excuses for these people that are leaving.
But, I mean, seriously,
No
I was so surprised. I was like, out of San Antonio or Houston or Fort Worth? I mean, Fort Worth is a...
Yeah, this mic picks up everything now.
That's funny. You have the headphones. I don't have the headphones on, so...
Yeah.
But, yeah, and I was like, but my shows in Dallas are not... You know, people don't come out.
Yeah.
So, but, I mean... Who knows? Who knows the reasons? There were a lot. Also, Dallas is huge, and a lot of the venues now are doing free shows.
Yeah.
So there's like 7 or 8 shows happening at one time.
Right. I've noticed that, like, I think all the Blue Light shows have been free so far.
Yeah.
So
there was one that night that I played. I don't remember who was playing it though. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Let's talk about the record.
Let's talk about the record.
Got that new record out. I want to start out with talking about something that we talked about when we did an interview that was never published out.
Ugh.
But it was about the Guy Clark Instant Coffee Blues thing.
Yeah.
Because I mentioned how, like, the best part about that song is how he just makes you stare at the awkwardness of the...
It's so great. And it's like 30 minutes in one day of these people's awkward situation. And I just love how he could do that. Just, like, take little vignettes of...
Right.
Like, take a little moment and turn it into a song. And that's something that I've looked to for writing myself, you know, is, like, I just, like, you know, there's a few people that are really good at doing that. And he was one of them. John Prine's one of them.
Right.
You know.
Just these little moments. I almost feel like I'm on either side. I don't know. I'm not sure if he's taking just mundane, just typical stuff and making it special, or if these moments are actually
that's the thing,
specifically special.
Those things happen. Like, you can make it out of anything. You can turn walking into a hotel room into into something. You can turn, like, any sort of side glance at somebody can be a big deal, you know? And I've thought, Ooh, what's that?
Whiskey on there.
Cool. Do you want to take this? He's getting mad at me. Thanks. But I've thought that before, that like we as songwriters and poets of like, and I don't consider myself really a poet, but poets do it too. Like we consider that like all of our works are from our point of view or whatever. Whenever like it's not just us that has those moments, So you can take a day and a conversation of a farmer and his wife and turn it like that guy's maybe not going to write that song, so I can write it.
Right.
Or
But this goes to a conversation that me and my friend Jeff have had about like how the whole being authentic thing. Mm-hmm. It's like, well, the coal miner, he may be like way more authentic and know about the quote unquote coal mining life,
right.
how hard it is. But he's also not able to
he's not able to
translate that into a way that is reasonable to listen to or understand or relate to.
Right.
So I mean, there's that balance of like knowing how to take those ideas, see those in different places,
and make them beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Take the ordinary and make them extraordinary. Like that's a thing that's kind of a little. It's interesting whenever like I say it about whenever I get the chance at shows to like really talk about songs and about my life or whatever. Like I live in a small town where so many people have had the same experiences as me because it's a plain normal small town life. But whenever I tell the stories about it, people laugh or they go, I remember that from whenever I was little. My grandma lived in a town like that, and whenever I went to visit her, I did this, or I used to go, so it's like they're ordinary moments, but they're much bigger.
Right.
Whenever you talk about them and relate them to other people, then they go, oh, that happened to me too. And then all of a sudden they get entertainment out of it because it reminds them of it's something that's familiar to them in a nostalgic kind of a way.
Yeah. I think like that's the biggest thing that music does is the nostalgic. Mm-hmm. That's where you do make we all like will wear the rose-colored glasses of looking back and thinking this was a whole lot cooler when it probably was a whole lot more boring and hard.
Right. Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why like my dad's family is all from Southeast Oklahoma. And so that's why I've always really liked Turnpike songs because they remind me of those places.
Exactly.
But then when I actually remember going up there for Christmas, it was the most boring place in the entire universe. Then
it's more like Choctaw Bingo.
Except way more boring. Like even at that, it's like, what do you tell a 7-year-old kid who there's no cable? You're like, what? 4 channels?
Right.
What? That kind of.
Yeah.
So it's.
I know, but there's still, there's those moments, and it's the scenes that are set that make you, all those Okies have the same. She doesn't know that we can hear that on the mic.
Yeah. No one does. Like no one in here actually realizes like I'm hearing their conversation too.
Right.
So you're gonna have to listen to this podcast like 4 times to hear all these different conversations.
Yeah. See. Out there in podcast world, if you can paint the picture in your head of what's happening in this bar right now.
Yeah.
It's like those radio contests where they make a sound and then guess what it is.
You have to guess for...
Yeah, you call in and say, like, that was jelly beans hitting the bottom of a vacuum cleaner or whatever.
Yeah. It's such a specific, like,
yeah, it's always something that's, like, real...
Yeah. That reminds me of, like, the... I guess they were more like at like the Halloween carnival kind of stuff at like school or like at a church or something like that. It's like the guess how much money is in this jar,
right? Yeah.
Or how many M&Ms are in this jar, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I was never really good at that. We had to play that in class. I don't know. I feel like they're getting louder.
They are. I think that they're doing that on purpose.
Yeah, but
we could just you could do that as an entire podcast. Like just set a microphone in a bar as they're setting up, and then as doors open.
Yeah.
And then, like, that hour between, like, doors.
Mm-hmm.
See, there's a lot of those. We're not open yet. We open at 8.
Yeah. Well, people don't want to stand out there in the cold whenever. I guess, yeah, the doors are opening at 8. Yeah. Now they're locking the doors.
Yeah, lock them.
Yeah, my other idea on a podcast is just to get like a mic for my phone, like a better mic,
Yeah.
and then just have it as like the loadout, where like bands are
good
like
one.
loading out.
Yeah,
because
talking about you'd have to warn us.
yeah, for sure. I feel like where I got this idea was hanging out with the Moon Pies, because like
Yeah.
Mike is a whole lot more loose, obviously at that point. in
Right,
life. And then it was just
yeah.
like, oh, everyone is a lot more. And
The adrenaline's up. Everybody's
Yeah.
feeling good.
yeah. Yeah. Just a lot more candid with their talk.
Yeah.
Just a lot more. Well, I don't know
funny.
about that guy. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot
Did
more.
you see that guy in the front row?
Yeah. What's like the strangest thing you've seen on stage looking out this way that where you go, how is this going on and no one else is really.
Oh, one time I was playing a house concert in Colorado, and this couple asked me to play, like they requested a song because it was their wedding song or something. And then I started playing it, and I play with my eyes closed, you know? And I opened my eyes, and they were like super making out in the back corner. And there were like 20 people there, and they were, I mean, it was like tongues down throats, like hands happening, like at this house concert. And then I just closed my eyes again and kept singing the song and
Yeah.
just let it go. But I was like, I didn't know y'all were gonna do that.
Exactly.
That was weird.
What song was it? I wanna know
Ordinary People. It's like not even like a wedding song.
That's funny. I don't know how I would even. I guess I would stop playing.
No way.
Do that. I don't know.
Yeah. Ugh. I just closed them back up and kept going. The other day, somebody told me that they were going to dance to Eyes for You at their wedding. And I didn't have the heart to tell them that maybe they should listen to it a little bit closer
Yeah.
first.
Yeah. Well, I've seen. This is. You familiar with the song "A Life Where We Work Out" by Flatland? And
Oh,
Caitlin
yeah.
Butts?
Yeah.
Everyone's always like, "That's my song," and it's like,
It's a horribly
That's the-
sad song.
that's They're talking about the hypothetical, guys, not like
Right.
what happens.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of that kind of stuff in songs.
Yeah.
So. A lot
Somebody told me that they wanted me to keep writing upbeat, happy songs just like Heartache. Like, yeah. Look at that title there.
Of, right.
I mean, it's fast,
Yeah.
I guess, but it's not upbeat. Whatever, it's danceable.
Sometimes that's what counts for people.
That's all that matters. It's great. I mean, I'm into that. I try.
Yeah.
I try for tempo.
Yeah. The song "Death and Life."
That's not tempo.
I know, but like that is. I remember when you were telling me the story about writing that song.
Yeah.
You were kind of like piecing song ideas together.
Right.
Right. What? Can you go into that about how that song came to be?
Well, that song was actually, I mean, I started working on it. It's hard to say that I started working on it because I just knew that it was a song. Like, I knew that the situation that I was looking at deserved that treatment, but I thought that it was two separate songs. Like, one of them is a widow. The first verse is about a widow who was having a hard time with the permanence of her husband being gone, and so she didn't buy a gravestone because she just didn't want to see it. And that's kind of, that Vern Gosdin, till it's chiseled in stone, that thing. That's a song in itself.
Right.
But I was trying to figure out a different way to write it, a different perspective. And also, the second verse was a whole other thing that I started thinking about whenever my husband's father passed away, and he asked Roy, my husband, to build him a coffin for whenever, because he knew that he had cancer, so he was terminal, and he was like, "Hey, I want you to build me a box." And Roy, of course, said that he would do it, even though it's the worst thing
Right.
for somebody to ask you to do, But So when that day came, and then Roy did that, I watched as it really helped him with the grieving process, because he got to do one last thing for his dad, and the whole poetic. I mean, that's just all poetic in itself. And so that's a song that practically writes itself just in the story. It's a movie. It's a, well, that stuff's hard whenever it's like so heavy and it's so deep and you have to do it justice. Like that's something that can't, I had to do it right. And I just kind of let it marinate, and I didn't try to write it. Every once in a while a line would come and I'd write it down, and then another line would come and I'd write it down. But eventually I figured out that those two songs were actually the same song that just deals with going on with life and dealing with a death, and how we all grieve in different ways, and just life goes on.
Yeah.
And so I didn't figure it out until I was in the studio working on the record, like the second day in. Then I was like, oh, this is how it goes. This is,
Right.
And I finally figured out how all the pieces fit together, and it ended up being the title track.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
The line about, like, paraphrasing here, but like the line about how, a father treats his son like a man.
Yeah.
That is such a...
Well, that was the last line that came. That was the line that first half of that second verse was what I was missing to kind of tie it all in. And then the last verse of the kids jumping over rocks, like that came at the end too.
Yeah.
But like that first half, like the father always tries to treat a boy just like a man. Whenever that part came, I was like, okay, I think I got it. I think I tied them in.
Right.
And gave it the treatment that it needed. Like the whole story of like, no son, this is this is your responsibility.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I'm lucky that one floated down at the right time.
That line right there is, when I first heard it, I thought of like me and my dad. Like, and it sounds like it's going to be in a negative way, but like I feel like my dad was always hard on me. But
right.
like that's.
But he should be.
Everybody's.
Right.
Everybody's dad's hard on them if care
they're a
for
good
them.
dad.
They want them to be somebody
who's able to take somebody being hard on them.
Yeah.
You can't, like that's the dad's job.
Yeah.
Like that's the parent's job, is to raise your children to be independent, strong people who can handle disappointment.
Yeah.
And that's that's kind of a negative thing to say, probably, so I'm not saying parents have to be mean to their kids.
Right.
But they have to be realistic with their kids and teach them that it's not all, roses.
Right. I see so many people say, like, oh, this is my best friend, my mom, or, my dad. And I'm like,
yeah.
Me and my dad, we still don't get along.
Yeah.
But, like, it's okay. It's fine. Like,
yeah. I mean, I love my mom and I love my dad, and they are still my parents.
Right.
Like, I love it when my mom comes on the road with the kids. Like, she'll come and help me, and we have a great time, and it's a lot of fun. My dad came to Idaho with me a few weeks ago, like a month ago, to help with the baby, and it was great. But he's still my dad.
Right.
Like, I still don't, like, hey, Dad, let's go have beers. Like, it's like, okay, can I go have a drink and then come back and then I'll be,
Right.
He's fine. I'm a grown-up, and he knows that I'm a grown-up, but I still feel like I'm going to go, I tell him what I'm going to do, and
yeah. I'll put it this way. I would rather my dad have been hard on me my entire life than at some point, like him still treating me like a child at 30 or something,
Right. Well, that's their job, is to teach you, like, to treat you older than you are, so that you act, so that you gain responsibility, and you figure out, I can do this,
Yeah.
Like the other day, I have a 4-year-old, told him to go fix his bed, and he was like, but I don't know how to fix my bed. You know, he's just like, I need help, and just lost his mind.
Tell
and I was
him
like,
that I don't know how to fix my bed. It's still the hardest thing in the
I'll
world.
tell him, yeah. And I was like, wait, but the other day you were at Gami's house, which is my mom. It's like, you were at Gami's house and you fixed the bed there. Remember, you fixed it? And he was like, oh yeah. And then all of a sudden he could do anything. You know, he was like, yeah, I can do it. Okay, I forgot I did that. You know, and he went, he fixed his bed, and then he told me that maybe he's going to be a professional bed fixer. That can be his job. And then Roy's like, you're not working in hotels, buddy. You know? Like, oh great, our 4-year-old was going. Go fix beds for a living. Like, it's okay. He's going to come up with a million different jobs between now and when he needs a job.
See that, but you're going to be able to hold on to that job right there and be like,
yeah. But every day now I go, oh, TR, go fix your bed, and he's like, yeah, you know.
Yeah.
When he's 4, he probably shouldn't be able to fix his bed. I don't know, and it's a horrible job, but he does it, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
You know, it's not straight, but the blanket's on the bed, and the pillows are up there, and
now you have a story to tell his first serious girlfriend about
how he strove to be a bed fixer.
Wants to be a bed maker when he grew up. I mentioned one time that I wanted to sell apples on the side of the road. Yeah. And that turned into
stuck with you.
So
I would love to sell apples that's actually my retirement plan.
You see, like
I'm gonna have a fruit
for a while
stand.
you're just kind of like, that does not sound great, and then at some point it turns back to actually that's not too bad.
I'm gonna have a camper on the back of my truck. There's gonna be a window unit back there. I'm gonna sit back there with my guitar and sell watermelons and apples on the side of the road. Yeah. All day long. That's my retirement plan. Mm-hmm. Fruit stand. Yeah, it has been for the last 20 years.
Okay. You can sell records still there too.
Totally. I mean, if I could, I guess.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, if I have them. Like, whenever I came up with that plan, I didn't really have any.
No.
So the music selling part never has been a thought, but
yeah. He's
the baby's happy now.
I know.
With his friend Jen.
Going back to the record, I mentioned this to you when we did that interview. I still probably should just put it out on Newslink because it was a great interview. Yeah. But I told you how the song "If I Told You," the first time I heard it was with Charlie Stout.
Charlie Stout, he was passing it around Lubbock.
No, we were actually.
Oh yeah, we were
driving.
On a trip.
We were on a trip, and you had just texted to him, and so he played it, and that was not last year. Was it? I guess 2017, 16, something like that. Yeah. But he played it 2 or 3 times in a row, and I thought that was like, it was one of those like I need that now. I need that song now. To me, that's just like a really, really great song, and I think it's such a intimate, quiet moment that is hard for a lot of people to get into without stumbling.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Most of that song came out all at the same time, and I go through times where I don't write anything for months. I mean, it's been a year before where I don't write at all, and I was kind of in one of those little spots where like I hadn't really done anything, and then Courtney sent me this song that I don't know, I listened to it and it was short, and I remember thinking that it wasn't, like, I remember thinking not that it wasn't complete, but that there was maybe a second part to it, and I think it was like, if that's like, I'd like to do this and I'd like to do that, you know, with someone, if that someone were you. It was like, I think that was like the gist of it. And so then, I unplugged the computer. So I listened to it, and for some reason it just made me want to write. Sometimes that happens. You listen to a song, it makes you want to write, you know. And so that night I went outside on my porch, and I just started playing those, finger picking that melody, and I wrote most of that song sitting out there by myself in the dark. And so that's kind of where a lot of that comes from, I was sitting in the dark on my porch, in the dark I feel a loneliness inside, like, because I was sitting there swinging in the dark, looking around, like, just with that coming, and I didn't really know how that song was going to end, because I didn't really know I didn't know.
Right.
And so I just kept for, like, that next day, kind of singing it in my head, and went and took a couple showers. So that's what I do whenever I need to clear my head,
Right.
And
they're shower thoughts for a reason.
Yeah. I mean, it really, In a Wink and Death and Life were like 5 shower songs in the studio time. But this song, like, I was in the shower and I just go, would you wish you didn't know? That's the end. Like,
right.
That's it. Like, the last line came before the rest of the last verse, and I was like, okay, how do I get there?
Right.
How do I get to would you wish you didn't know? So I kind of worked backwards from there and figured it out. And I kind of used that trick a few times, like where you repeat the first, like at the end of the last verse starts out the same as the first verse.
Right.
So half of it was written already.
Yeah.
I just had to get to it, but like a reprise, I guess.
I think a lot of people think that songs are written in a linear fashion more times than not. How often does it come where you have that middle part, or that you just know there's that line, but you're not really sure
you don't know
if
where
it's
it goes,
where it's going?
Sometimes, well, it happens, but you have to let it happen, because sometimes even I, as I'm writing it, will go, no, this came next. I thought of this next, so it goes here. If you sit there in an editing process, you can go, what if that's actually the first line? Or what if this is actually the first line? Or what if this is the last line? If you give yourself that grace to rearrange things, sometimes it turns a song around.
Yeah.
And sometimes it makes it really mean, something different than it did before.
Is it almost like, I know a lot of people, as they're writing songs and they're growing more experience, they talk about the editing process being way more important than the inspiration point.
Right.
Is that almost like two different brains, two different thoughts process, like two different kinds of approaches?
If I finish a song, then I will go through it and make sure that every word is necessary. Sometimes I'll have too many ands or buts or because or whatever, whenever those things don't really need to be in there. You can leave those up to the listener to put in. So I'll take those kinds of things out and see what it sounds like without them. And I'll see if maybe there's a sweeter way to say something, or a more alliteration, or I'll that's whenever I'll go in and maybe try for some word play with sounds. But most of the time, if I consider something finished, like, it's minimal editing after that. Like, as I'm going through writing the verses and the choruses, I'll go through and go, no, I hate it, stop. And then I'll stop until I feel like I have more words.
Are you a pen to pad person that you have to get it that way, or you? Yeah,
I can't really do the computer, the typing thing yet, and really I do it in my head first. I'll do a whole if I'm co-writing, I'm not the one writing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the one with a guitar, figuring out what I want to say in my head first, and then writing the complete thought down after it's done. So there's not, everybody's always like, save everything you ever write. I'm like, well, everything I ever write down is usually the thing that's going to be sung.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of extra.
Yeah. I guess a couple weeks ago, I did a pod with Brandon Adams and Ross Cooper.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they mentioned it on the podcast, but Brandon said not until recently that he never wrote any of his lyrics down, because he felt like it was if they weren't good enough to remember, then they weren't good enough to be. But Ross is kind of on the other end. I know he does work tapes every time something even sparks.
Nicely
So.
done.
Huh?
They're about to open the doors.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well.
Fine.
No, we're gonna just tell them to no. Okay. Yeah.
It's part of your podcast, where you open the doors and then you let the mic run and then you listen to people come in.
Yeah. Well, thank you for coming on.
Of course.
We'll still talk.